What's good? This is Marcus Da Fingaz, D-A-F-I-N-G-A-Z, with the Sampleist, and back with another review for you. This time we're going to check out the Harmonic Bloom plugin from Sonora Cinematic. Before we get into that, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to this video or to this channel to find more videos like this. And also, even though the plugin was provided by the great team over at Sonora Cinematic, they have not had a chance to provide any input on this video, and our review will not be affected by the fact that they provided this great plugin. All right, let's get into it. Harmonic Bloom is a way to turn harmonic noise into musical material. It can be thought of as a sound design platform. They allow you to import your own samples using a simple drag and drop feature. You have different layers. You have your main layer. You have a noise layer. You can add in noise harmonics. You have built-in effects. You can play your keys, and then as you're playing, the plugin will analyze your notes in real time, and it will use a combination of bandpass filters, and it will adjust the cutoffs at specific points. Your noise to pitch slider here will allow you to increase the resonance level of the filters that you set in the noise harmonics. You have 30 sound sources that can range from analog sources, digital sources, machinery, things like tape hiss. You have 50 instruments. You have 50 categorized presets. Actually, you have more because there's a new release that has an additional 64 presets. So you have over 100 presets now. You have built-in multi-shape LFOs. You have so much. Let's get into it. Let's talk about this plugin. All right, so what we're going to do here is I'm going to mute the microphone for several minutes and just play through some presets. So here we go. we're going to start right here with noise. What you have here is you have a noise layer, you have your preset, those noise presets we mentioned earlier right here, you have your volume, you have your ADSR, you can adjust the sample start, and you have this randomize option. So this is actually in a new update also. So you can randomize the preset that loads up here on the noise section. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn down the main, and I'm going to turn down all of our harmonics here, and we'll get to that shortly. So we're going to start with just this red noise. We're using the initialize preset. We're going to just start with the red noise. It's set to pitch. Let's see how that sounds. We have our main volume all the way down, our frequency, our fundamental frequency is up, and our harmonics are down. That already sounds incredible. That's just like a pad just off the break. Let's go down to noise. Let's see how the noise sounds. Like a wave. Let's turn down our release here. And you do have some built-in effects already going on. And you can bring in your pitch a little bit here. What the noise to pitch ratio does, all the way to noise, it just has a noise harmonics. It sounds like a multi-band EQ with frequency filters determined by the keys that you play, and it also works polyphonically. So as you adjust the pitch, it will add those harmonics in. So let's add in some harmonics now. Let's bring it all the way down to noise. So you can hear what's happening there when we bring in those harmonics. And then what we'll do is we'll bring it all the way to pitch. Hear that note? That note? And it starts to add in those harmonics. One way to think about this is if you've ever played like an organ with drawbars, you can think about these as different drawbar settings for your noise. That's one way that I think about it. I used to play organ in church, so that's how I would think about these. Harmonics is just different drawbars that you can have to dial in your sound, and that can be really powerful. So you can also adjust the sample start. So let's go back to just noise. That's the noise. Let's say I wanted to start a little bit further into the sample. So you might not be able to tell, but it's starting further into the sample. We can really tell when we get down to the main layer, which we'll get to now. So we're going to go down to main, and I'm going to turn this up a little bit. So right now, you hear nothing because all the volumes are down for the master of both of these. And we're going to bring up the main. And you have, I'm just playing the F note there. So I'm going to bring down the release. You do have some layers going on. We'll get to that shortly with some effects. But let's say I want to adjust the sample start to the very beginning. You see how the waveform sort of fades in right there. So you can actually use a sound that you already have, a waveform that's already in there, and you can adjust the sample start. So you get really very powerful. This is I'm just going to play a chord with the main sound. Yeah, really, it's a really simple plugin, ADSR, sample start, volume. So you have your randomize also down here. So let me hit that. As you can see, this is a saw. This is where you can drag in your sample also. Yeah, so I like when plugins have that randomized option. So before we get into the effects that you have and the modulations that you have for the main, one thing to note that the harmonics only affect the noise layer, and as you can see, the color sort of helps identify that. The harmonics does not affect your main layer, but you can have those layering options. So with the main layer here, you also have noise modulation, so you can take this noise layer up here. So let's turn this down. Let's go back to our noise option, and we have some frequencies dialed in here. You can go in here and you can tweak these options. So let me turn everything down because I was playing with them a little earlier. Volume, let's turn everything down. But this is what our noise sounds like without anything modulating it. And then let's bring up, so we can adjust the pan. So you start to hear some of that thing going back and forth. We can also adjust the different LFO shapes. This is a random option here. You can do similar for volume. You can also adjust the sync, how it syncs to your tempo. So let's say 8th, 16th. So you can start to dial in different pulsing type effects, and then we can adjust the harmonic filter, the intensity of the filter itself. We'll go switch this to pitch. And you start to really get into sound designing from two waveforms. Let's jump into the layer effects here. So you've heard this whole review. You've heard some delay going on. You have delay, reverb, and then you can send the delay between the different noise and main sections. So let's go to delay, and we're going to turn down the delay. So we're going to start with turning down the delay and the send for everything. So we're just going to look at the noise right now, which is set to pitch. We'll layer that. There's a little bit of noise already in the plugin itself. So if I just wanted to send the noise to the delay over here, I'll just turn that up. And that layer is being sent to the delay. Whatever delay settings you have over here, it can sync to your tempo, or you can set a different time there. And then you can also adjust the feedback. You can adjust the type of delay. You have 5 delays here. Let's say if I want a tape delay. And then similar to reverb, if I want to send this to reverb, I can adjust the time there. I can adjust the pre-delay. I have 2 different reverbs all in room. And then you have a cutoff filter. You can adjust the cutoff and resonance here of the send effects. So again, sound design. We can also have the same settings for the main. So we're going to go down to main here. We have this saw going on, and we're going to send that to the delay. We're going to send the main to a delay here. That's actually kind of cool. And then we also have reverb. So we'll do the reverb. Yeah, so much happening in actually a deceptively simple plugin. Next up, let me bring in a personal sample from my own sample pack, and I'm going to add it to the main layer down here. So I'm going to bring, this is from my Child's Play sample pack, which is just bells, things like that. I'm going to add that here. Let's see what happens. It actually did it fairly quickly. I thought it was going to take a while to analyze, and this is the sample. Let me play the sample as it is. So this is how I created the sample. This is the sample loop that I created. So that is the sample loop I created, and this is how it imported into Harmonic Bloom. So it's already taken advantage of the reverb and delay. Let me take that out. One thing to note about the sample is it does automatically assume that the sample you drop in is tuned to C3. This sample in particular, I don't think it was tuned to C3, but such is life. I would have to detune that or tune it to make sure it's the C3 note. But I'm going to try to play the sample as a chord. Let's see what happens. So if you have a one-shot sample, you can bring it here and just do some more sound design. Let me try to play it on another note. So the chords probably with that sample, because it's not a one-shot, don't work really well, but playing one note almost sounds childlike there with that sample, that particular sample. Let's see if we can tweak the sample a little bit, or we can layer it with a noise here. So again, you can have all those same settings with your custom samples. Let me see if I can find a noise waveform. We're going to go to noise, noise patches, brown noise, pink noise. Let me see if I can drag this pink noise here onto the noise thing here. So there we go. So I've dragged in a noise onto the noise section here. This is what it sounds like. So it's already going through some effects. Let's see if we turn down some of our effects here. It's already being filtered through all those harmonics. Remember, we have those harmonic settings, our draw bars, so to speak. So you can really get in here. So this is just a custom sound with 2 samples that I imported. So let's layer these together. Again, it's out of tune because the sample I brought in I didn't tune, but you can start to build like a cue with that. The custom samples, no one else will have those sounds layered because those are custom samples that I created. Yeah, that's insane. All right, so that is an overview of the Harmonic Bloom. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna jump over to a demo I created using only Harmonic Bloom. So let's check that out. All right, so let's break it down. What do we have? We really only have 4 instances. I know you see 5. This was actually what I was using for the video, the demo, but we only have 4 instances of Harmonic Bloom. We're going to break them down one by one. I started with this Gravity Falls preset, just playing, let me bring this over this way, playing this chord progression. So that is F major to D minor to C major to A minor. And that's the chord progression. Let me see if I can get this. Might be, I don't know if the recording will see that the graphic is pulsating. That's, I don't know what that is, but we're going to keep going. Nothing to do with the plugin itself. But that's what that is doing. Then I layered that with another Harmonic Bloom, obviously. This one using the Harmonic Crackle preset, playing the same thing. That one, as you can hear, has a lot more reverb, a lot more sort of sustain in the note, a lot longer release. And what I didn't mention is I did EQ, just using the native Logic EQ, EQing out the low end and sort of the low mids there on both of these instances, just to clean it up a little bit. So that is Harmonic Crackle. On this one, I EQ'd a lot because I only needed the high end out of this one, so I didn't need some of those low frequencies. And this is a singing guitar preset, and it comes in during the second half of the intro, actually the second half of each sort of section. So this is what that's doing. So sort of like a unique sound, maybe the signature sound of this piece. I like how the sound sort of fades in a little bit, and then it's a little bit not jarring, but it's a little bit of it cuts through the mix really well. So a unique sound there. That is just a singing guitar preset. And then last but not least, I believe the last one, I just ended up hitting. I want to say I hit the dice to have that random function a couple times, but maybe I just used a gentle melodic preset, but I think I hit the dice a couple times. And this is what that's doing. So it's like a bell riff thing that's going on. But yeah, that is how I put that together. 4 tracks, quick cue. Yeah, so that is how I put that track together. So final thoughts, I really enjoy using this plugin. It's really great for doing custom sound design. You can use one of the over 100 presets to get you going, or you can just use them as is, and then you have so much sound design capabilities. You can import your own samples. One thing that I would like to have is an overall random option. I'm a huge fan of random, as you know, and I would just like to have dice that I can just click maybe in one of these top corners, and it just randomizes everything in the plugin, and I can just hit that to my heart's content until I get a sound that I like, and maybe I can tweak from there. That button would also randomize the harmonic options and effects, things like that. So if I can have an overall randomized button, that would be great, but I do like the preset randomization here that I can choose on these 2 layers. Again, a great plugin for custom sound design, personal sound design, using a bunch of presets, your built-in effects. It's all incredible, highly recommended. At the time of this video recording, It is available for an intro price of $111 US. It is normally $149, so see if you can catch it on the intro price. Also, it is available for the free Kontakt Player, so you do not need the full version of Kontakt to run this plugin. It is available on the free Kontakt Player, so definitely check it out. Shout out again to Sonora Cinematic for providing this library for us to review for you. Again, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the Sampleist channel, and we'll have more videos and more reviews coming your way soon. All right, be safe and be well, everyone. All right, peace.